Yeah, that's going to come back to haunt me for a long time. Very embarrassing moment. But a bride and groom showed up in their suit and dress. I did get a big fine. I think it was about $500 fine. And we had to put it into the kiddies, so.
Hey everyone, welcome back to We Are Sydney, presented to you by San Miguel. Today, Dams, we've got one of the GOATs of Sydney FC. He actually reminds me of Stevie G from Liverpool.
I love that, Sammy. Yeah. Rhyan Grant, Sydney's all-time leader in caps. He's made so many accolades, but he did one thing recently that tops it all. He became a father to his second child. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Boy, girl?
Another girl, so 2 girls.
2 girls.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Do we have a name yet, or is that still?
We do have a name. It took about 24 hours, to be honest. We were half expecting a little boy, so we weren't real convinced on girls' names. But we were with Eddie. E-double-D-Y, just to sort of go on trend with Bobby.
Yeah, that's cute. I like those type of names.
I like that. That is absolutely beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You mentioned Stevie G. Are you a Liverpool fan?
Actually, I'm a Liverpool fan, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's a massive rap. I'll take that.
Yeah, definitely. Like you're a Jamie Carragher or a Stevie G. Like you'd rather be a Stevie G out of those two.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm closer to Carragher, to be honest.
It's Big Blue this week. And no better person to talk to than you. We're going to play a little bit of a Big Blue game. Mm-hmm. Favourite Big Blue?
Okay. Oh, I was actually talking about this with Dave, our media manager.
The GOAT.
Yeah, Big Dave. And there's a lot. There's a few that he had to remind me about.
It's been so many.
Yeah, my first thought was, I think it was 6-1 semi-final win at Cogra.
Wow.
Which was my first thought, but then he reminded me of a few other ones. I think Khan scored a double off the bench to beat him 2-1 a few seasons earlier than that. So, I mean, there's the grand final wins too.
That's
the obvious one. Yeah, I want to try and
bit of an influence in that game as well.
Yeah, obviously, scoring the equaliser, which was massive thing for myself and for the team and the club. It's obviously looked back at quite fondly and pretty commonly. But I reckon, the 6-1, it's hard to go past that, I reckon, in a semi.
This one might be tough. I know, it gets heated out there. Who's your biggest Big Blue rival?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe just someone that you always had beef with or oppositely, maybe just like they terrorised you. Like you hated coming up against them.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of biggest rival, you think of someone that you've had a few run-ins with, but that could be anyone. When Victory were in their prime and it was up against Archie and Rojas playing on the flanks and them swapping, that was probably a torrid time for myself as a fullback. But then, obviously you got Berisha, who's the villain for everyone. Yeah. Playing against Archie and Rojas was, tough.
Wow. There's been some Big Blue players and memories and moments, but what's a Big Blue untold story? Or maybe a story that goes a little bit like we know about the grand final.
Yeah.
What's maybe just a Rhyan Grant Big Blue memory that doesn't get the limelight?
Yeah, this is a tough one actually because obviously the Big Blue is a big game, so a lot of people sort of see what goes on. But there is actually a funny story. Throughout the COVID situation, we had Champions League in a bubble overseas and then we had to come back and quarantine. And Victory did too, and they had to come and quarantine in the same hotel as us back here in, I think, Borkham Hills. And obviously with all the regulations and rules around COVID, there was things you could bring in and out of the country and whatnot. Nothing untoward. But one of the boys brought something back and had to get one of the Victory players to bring it through just to get, maybe for the luggage, the heaviness of it. And we were sort of passing. Because the guy that took it from Victory, it was Matty Acton, I think, who's a legend, the reserve goalkeeper at the time. He was below me on the balconies, so I sort of had to go through me, and we made a little contraption where I'd had a few.
You could fish it up.
I fished it up, and then obviously got it back to the player in question that needed it. It was a pretty expensive present too, so there was a lot of risk in it, and I probably didn't realise how expensive it was, so I was just winging it, and then I sort of found out how much it cost, and he wasn't real happy with how I was just going about
just
it.
Just thrashing it around.
But I made a pretty good contraption, had a few extension leads and cords and stuff like that. So that's, I mean, it's not game related, but that was a pretty funny story.
Yeah,
that is
probably fun.
That is awesome.
Pass the time.
Another thing we do, Ryan, on this show is fan questions. And Sammy, these are real people. We don't make these ones up. And of course, Ryan is someone from the country. This is a little country-inspired question.
Yeah, thanks, Joe, for this one. I know you're also from the country. This is from Joe K. What's the best pub in Canowindra?
Best
That is
pub?
how you say it,
Yeah.
where you're from,
She
right?
was
Yeah,
nervous
Canowindra.
before.
Yeah,
She didn't know
yeah.
how to pronounce it.
No,
Canowindra?
Yeah, it's Canowindra, but it's spelled Canowindra, but it's pronounced Canowindra. That's what everyone always says. That's how we sort of.
I offloaded that
tell
one
that.
too. You take that
They
one.
did well. That's credit to you. That was
Thanks.
good. Best pub. Canowindra Hotel was on a corner, and growing up, my best friend's parents actually owned it. So we used to stay. I used to stay over there nearly every weekend, and play pool with the locals and stuff. It was really good fun. So that was a good one. I think back in the day, my dad worked at the services club, and then also my pop. So probably have to throw that one out there too. But I think there was probably 4 or 5 pubs in a town of only at the time when I lived there. I think there was only 1,000 people. So.
Wow.
A lot of pubs for not a lot of people, but
Keep you busy.
a few watering holes. But yeah, probably those two I'd have to give a special mention.
That's a great question.
And how old were you when you moved from the country? Like that leads perfectly now into your journey.
Yep.
Moving from the country to the big smoke.
Yeah.
How old were you when that happened? Was it was it an adjustment for you, not just in a footballing sense, but also like just a kid from the country, a life sense as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think initially I'm from Canowindra, and then moved to Bathurst when I was 12, and then from Bathurst to Sydney when I was 16. So if I went straight from Canowindra to Sydney, I reckon it would have been a massive jump. But having that little, I suppose I went to a bigger town of Bathurst. I think it's only 30, 40,000 people, so it's still not massive. But I think that sort of gave me a little bit of a stepping stone. But yeah, 16 or 15, I think, initially when I moved to Sydney for the New South Wales Institute of Sport and lived with an auntie and uncle up here, which were very lovely to take me in and, spent a couple of years there before I went to Canberra and then back to Sydney.
What was football like as a kid in the country? Like, what age did you start kind of, learning and enjoying?
Yeah, it was, I think I was about 4 when I started playing. My older sisters played, not that they were any good, but I sort of just would just want to play and follow them around. And obviously, again, back to Canowindra, being a small town, we had to play our competitions in Cowra, which was the closest town 20 minutes away. That was a little bit bigger, and they had the actual competition. So we sort of represented Canowindra. There wasn't too many kids, so we'd travel 20 minutes every Saturday and play there. And I think it's, in the country, I suppose, everything's a bit more rugby league, rugby union. So you are a little bit of a wuss, I suppose, if you played soccer. That's probably a polite way to say it.
I know what you.
I wasn't called that. Yeah, that's probably other words. But then obviously it's leaded me to a pretty good life. So all those people that used to take the mick out of me now, are sort of friends. But it wasn't a big sport at all. But obviously it's getting a lot bigger all over Australia, and especially in country towns.
Are you the greatest export out of Canowindra? Is there another? Like, if we're making a Canowindra Mount Rushmore, is it you number one? Are there any other goats or like?
I'm sure there
is.
is. I'm sure there is. My old man likes to tell stories of the past of how many good rugby league players.
So you were the first
there.
footballer.
Yeah, first football, definitely soccer
That's cool.
player. Yeah,
That's
for
a cool
sure.
distinction.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Not long after that, so you've got N-Swiss, and then you actually in the youth league. What age was that for Sydney FC?
I think the youth league, I was 17 at the time. Obviously played with Maddie, your brother. So we had a really good year that year. Did really well, ended up winning it obviously, and then a lot of that crop sort of went into the A-League, whether it was at Sydney or other clubs. So 17 when that was the very first season of the youth league, and they were the days we got to sort of travel all around Australia and play the team that obviously the first team were playing, and get to play sometimes as a curtain raiser at the big stadium. So that was a great initiative back in the day.
What was that like? I mean, coming from the country and then experiencing stuff like that, being able to travel, how was that?
Yeah, it was really cool actually. Yeah, it happened so quick. Obviously, I'd moved to Sydney at 15. Within a couple of years, just sort of training with the A-League team and travelling around and following them around and playing in massive stadiums, or at the time they were massive for me. And then obviously, really competitive teams back then. I remember a lot of the players from the first team would drop down and play. Didn't matter what age you were. So the competition itself was really strong. But it was nice to sort of feel like a professional even, sort of in a youth development stage.
Who was a role model for a young Rhyan Grant during that time?
Oh, good question. I think back then, I think I've always loved Broski, but I think Terry McFlynn was probably a really good role model. He was always good with the younger players, sort of include you with the jokes, sort of take the piss out of you a little bit. But yeah, sort of made you feel part of the team. So I reckon, yeah, Tez is probably a good one who I still speak to and see quite often. He was a real good role model.
And you've been at Sydney for a long time. There's not many players that, just at one club. What's kept you here for so long?
Yeah, good question. Should ask them, I think, ask the people in charge. No, obviously, I've always wanted to play for Sydney, even when it sort of started. I wanted to play for Sydney and then was lucky enough to. And as the years went on, I've never really been out of contract, so the Sydney have always come to me and offered me to stay, and it was sort of a no-brainer, really. So, yeah, I'm not sure. A mix of, sort of respect, I suppose, from Sydney looking out for me and even through injury, sort of sticking by me, and then, sort of vice versa too, hanging around at different times. But no, I don't know what really keeps me here, but obviously very cliche, but it feels very much like a home. I'm very comfortable here, and I know pretty much everyone, both on the football department and over this side too. So, no, I really love it here, and can't really see myself, or could imagine what it would be like if I wasn't here, to be honest.
The flip side to that, have you ever been close to leaving?
Like,
what's the closest? Do you remember a time where you thought, like, this could be it?
Like I said, I was never really out of contract, so it never really got to a stage where I was sort of weighing up things.
Yeah, okay.
But there was obviously some interest over the years from different clubs overseas and whatnot, but nothing really concrete that ever, sort of came through the door.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah, like when we
options,
speak about Stevie G,
Yeah.
I think
Stevie G nearly went to Chelsea.
Yeah.
It was a done deal. He almost went to Chelsea. So there was no like maybe trip to Asia, because this leads now, I think, into what you are like an A-League success story. You've played your whole career in the A-League. And I remember there was a time, and you were playing in that time, where managers of the Socceroos would come out and say, you can't make the Socceroos if you're playing in the A-League. You make the Socceroos playing in the A-League. Was that always an aspiration of yours when you were playing, to make the Socceroos? But then did you ever think like, if I want to do that, I might have to, dip to Asia for a little bit, or...
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of, any aspiration, I think, for a young player is to try and play at the highest level possible. And I was no different. And obviously, I probably took a few years to sort of really settle in the A-League, and I was sort of in and around the team. So not playing as much as I probably would have wanted. So I'm pretty realistic too. I knew that if I wanted to either go overseas or end up playing for the Socceroos, I'd have to play really well in the A-League first. And then that sort of started to happen. And then, a few knocks on the door to see what else was out there. But then, was selected in a national team, which was Ange at the time. Which was awesome. And I sort of thought that ship had sailed. Like you said, it's sort of players playing in the the biggest leagues around the world that sort of get selected for the national team. So as soon as that happened, I knew that coaches sort of picking from the A-League, and if you do well, you sort of earn your stripes. So I'd like to say there was big clubs knocking on my door, but it wasn't really the case. But luckily for me, I didn't really need to be. They were still A-League players representing the Socceroos, and obviously still continue to.
Favourite moment in a Socceroos jersey, apart from the debut, of course, because I'm sure nothing tops that.
There's a few. Without getting too sort of blowing smoke up my own bum.
No.
Obviously,
Blow it.
just the goal. My only goal for the Socceroos, I suppose, was away in Vietnam. So that was probably a really special moment. Obviously the debut, like you said, but probably scoring for the Socceroos. Not too many players could sort of say they did, especially defenders. So I'll take that.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Back to the A-League, you've been in the league for a long time. You debuted in 2008. How have you seen things change?
Oh, yeah, another good question. Back when it first started, I think everyone knows how good the crowds were, the quality of the league, the professionals and the players that you had sort of floating around at the time was really good. Then it sort of went on a pretty good trajectory there for a while. Maybe had a little bit of a dip. Sort of halfway through, my A-League career anyway. And then, the last few years has sort of been a little bit rocky at times, I think. But I think if you look at the way the A-League's going, I suppose world sport or world football is a lot of young players are coming through and getting a chance. And then you obviously see that in the A-League and especially at Sydney here the last few years, players getting moves overseas and going on to bigger and better things. So, as much as it's sort of been a little bit like that, I think we're on the right trajectory at the moment. But, a lot has changed. It's a lot younger, the teams. Luckily, not too young. I'm still hanging in there. But, a lot of young players. Like there's players, we got 16-year-olds training with us and whatnot. So, not that's a problem. I was 17 when I started. So, I suppose it does happen. But, I think it's getting a lot longer. A lot younger, the league and Sydney FC too.
Do you have a welcome to the A-League moment? Like, you've been in it for so long, you played against so many players. Was there a moment maybe you got humbled, or maybe it was something like about being a pro that just caught you off guard? Like, what was your welcome to the A-League moment?
Oh, I don't know, but I do remember one time when Brett Emerton played for us, obviously an Australian legend.
What a player. And
he was playing right mid and I was obviously right back, and I think I tried to overlap and as I do, and I think I stuffed something up and he sort of had a go at me and I almost wanted to say something, then I had to sort of pull my head in and think, so this guy's played, 400 games in the Prem or something silly. So that was a bit of a humbling moment. I think I'd been at the club for a while, so I thought, I can probably, I've got a bit of weighty, and then just reaction was to sort of have a bit of a bite back, and then I realised, I need to pull my head in and sort of sit back and let him say what he had to say and cop a bit of a spray. But then he was really good after the session. He came up and said what he had to say in a really polite way and sort of apologised and sort of spoke me through it, which made me feel a lot better and didn't have to try and avoid him in the change room or anything. But he was really good for, I suppose, me and watching what he could do, and he's obviously played right back at times. So learned a lot of him, but that's probably a moment where I was sort of a little bit humbled.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm going to stitch you up and say, surely it had to be the time you forgot to change your jersey.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the A-League. That's gone viral.
That's an A-League moment. Isn't
That
it?
is
That's
peak
peak
A-League.
A-League.
That's peak A-League.
That is peak A-League. Yeah, that's going to come back to haunt me for a long, long time. It still does. Very embarrassing moment. But I don't know what happened there. Sort of, it was I think it was pretty cold in Wellington at the time, windy Wellington. So I just left my jumper on from the warm up and then forgot to grab my jersey, and then lucky Clarkey, our strength and conditioning coach at the time, was quick, and I'm surprised I got put on. I'm surprised Arnie let me go on after that. He wasn't real happy. I did get a big fine. I think it was about $500 fine. And we had to put it into the kiddies, so that was probably my monthly wage at the time. Cheers, Arnie. But that was another humbling moment. I've had a few.
I feel like in terms of peak A-League, you'd be like one of the mascots. Like, I just think of your mullet, the jersey. Like, is there another one? Like, what other ones can I think of? Like if PK League had a mascot, he'd have your hair. Like that mullet was so iconic.
I don't know. I've got a few. I'm not going to throw myself on the bus.
I already did it for him.
We need someone to just feed us. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
I think it's obviously starting so young and always playing the A-League. Someone said it to me just recently, actually. You've grown up in front of, mostly the Sydney FC fans, but you've grown up in front of them and sort of have embarrassing moments like everyone does, but mine happened to be on TV or on camera. But sort of coming from a younger kid to where I am now, some of the boys see some of that old stuff and think, did you really do that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that was me. No, it's AI. I think when you sort of on camera and you start quite young, there's always going to be a few things that haunt you, and I definitely have a few.
Oh no, that's so good. Now it is time for the cool break. Brought to you by San Miguel. This is when we take a little bit of a break from the normal line of questioning, and these questions can be a little bit weird. Okay, you ready for them?
Yeah.
Sammy, you going to kick us off?
Okay. What do you like to do to switch off?
I used to like going for a surf or a swim, but I don't get as much time these days. So for some reason, I love to do a little bit of trivia. I love a pub quiz, obviously, but even with the boys, when we're in between sessions and stuff, we love to do a bit of trivia.
Okay.
Find niche
what type
subjects.
of trivia?
We change it up. We do a lot of, obviously, football trivia.
Love that.
Yeah, we do a lot of football trivia. My probably niche subject would have to be like rugby league or Penrith Panthers or something like that.
You're a Panthers fan?
Yeah, big Panthers fan.
Okay.
We change it up all the time. We always have a bit of trivia, whether it's music or football. So that's probably a good little.
Any shows or anything like that? Or what's a guilty pleasure?
I'm a big sort of TV show guy.
Okay. What are you watching at the moment?
I think it's called. Is it The Last Frontier or Frontier? That's on Apple TV at the moment, which is pretty good.
Apple got some good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Apple's.
they do.
I highly
Ted Lasso.
recommend
Yeah.
Apple to everyone. That's probably my go-to platform. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm a big TV series guy, but my partner, she's not a big fan of TV shows. She just likes more docos and stuff. So we watch a lot of docos and stuff, but I sort of have to find time to watch those shows myself. So whether it's on the flights when we go away trips, or when I am on the way trips in the hotel room. So
That's when you do your best
yeah,
work.
I binge that. Yeah, binge that myself. Yeah.
Okay, let's blind rank Sydney FC foreigners. You've played with them all.
Wow. Okay.
And there's a lot. This was tough. You're going to rank them from 5 to 1. Ryan has not seen this. He does not know who's coming
Obviously,
next.
one being the best.
One's being the best, 5 just being the worst in a great bunch.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah,
saying
it's
these,
tough.
these
Yeah, no,
players
of
suck
course,
because
yeah.
there's some absolute goats
Yeah,
coming
this
up.
is gonna
We're
be
start with
tough.
the big
Yeah.
one. Alessandro Del Piero.
He has to obviously be one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Milos Ninkovic.
Just trying to think of other ones you might say. I'm going to have to probably say 3.
Bobo.
Yeah, far out. I've got a couple else in my head, so I'm going to have to say I saw Bobo. He was here the other week, actually. I feel really bad.
He's gonna be
He's going
filthy.
down.
Yeah, at least he won't see me for a while. I'm going to probably say 4.
Ooh, Adrian Mijajewski.
Yeah, wow. Well, this might be easy for me. I'm going to say 5 because I actually was injured that season.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
there's
so I
only
didn't
one
actually
season.
play with him. I got
Okay.
to witness it, but I didn't get to play
Well,
with him.
then number 2, Adam Lafondra.
Oh, he has to go number 2, yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah, that's not bad. I was waiting for Joe Lolly, actually.
Well, we
Yeah.
thought
And he
current
sort of
play-
said, "Oh, you
we
better
thought
be up
current
there."
players will leave them out.
Yeah, okay.
Del Piero, though, what was that like? How old were you when he was there? You would have been, what, 20?
Yeah, I think it was 20 or 21, yeah.
What a time. You've seen it all. Like,
Yeah.
you've seen
Yeah,
every
yeah.
marquee, every era of Sydney FC.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's actually funny you were saying how close I was to leaving. It was actually going to be a swap deal, me and
Yeah.
Ryan, yeah. But I just turned that down just purely to play with Del Piero.
Yeah.
It's so hard to sort of, without coming across cliche and cringe, but just to be able to be in the presence of a guy like that. Growing up, I wasn't a massive football fan, but I knew, like, even I knew who he was. That sounds so silly, but like he was. I remember my mum went to Italy when I was younger, and she bought back a Del Piero jersey, and I still had it when he
Wow.
joined City. I had to get
Wow.
rid of that. I didn't want him seeing me
Like
fanboying.
fanboy?
Yeah, no, but just like the crowd that would come and just watch us train or watch him train. I think
Maybe they watched the Juventus scouts were watching.
yeah, of course. Actually, another funny story that there was a bride and groom showed up in their suit and dress and wanted Del Piero Alessandro to
No.
do, whether it was to do the official part of it, I'm not sure, but
Celebrant.
yeah, or
To
just
get a photo,
do
yeah.
something with they
Bless the
came.
wedding or...
Yeah, that was way away. We had hundreds of people here every session, just sitting and watching people getting signed and then coming back a day later with it tattooed and stuff. But
Wow.
That's
obviously,
insane.
yeah, just sort of seeing that firsthand how big he was and how many fans just adored him. And we obviously went to Italy for pre-season
Yeah.
too, which you
Yeah.
know with Maddie.
Yeah.
Seeing that too, how much he's adored and how much his love was, freakish. So that was, a very special time to be able to play with, legend of the game.
Yeah,
Very,
one
very
of the
cool.
best. I remember I got introduced to him at one of the awards nights, and my brother says, "Oh, this is my sister Samantha." And he goes, "Oh, Sanetta." And I thought, you know what? You can call me whatever you want. You're
that'll
Del
go.
Piero.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, this next game, we've never played this one before.
Okay.
I don't actually know what to call it. We're just going to call it Get to Know the Gaffer. I'm going to name 3 managers who I
Yep.
feel like have had a big influence on your career. Tell me their best attribute and then something maybe a little bit quirky about them that people
Okay.
don't know. Graham Arnold.
Oh, best attribute probably is man management. I think that's pretty widely known. He sort of can get everyone. Well, for me personally, he got me feeling very confident. He sort of cemented me in that right back role. I sort of used to play a little bit of everywhere. So he sort of gave me that right back role and let me cement that and gave me a bit of confidence to be sort of go forward with that and really own that. So I'd probably say man management and getting the best out of players.
Something quirky?
Quirky.
Like maybe you'd roll past his office and he'd be watching Bold and the Beautiful or something in the afternoon.
I mean, he's quirky. He's always
True.
right. But no, I think there's footage out there somewhere. Of he had a bad foot or something. Our masseuse, Jude at the time was giving him a massage before the game. The camera was in the change room. They panned to our physio room, and he's there with his feet up,
Foot massage.
getting a foot massage. So he was a bit quirky. No, he's got a lot of quirks, I think, but can't go past his
Needs a strepsil constantly.
constantly.
We might need to find that vision, I reckon. Of the
Yeah,
foot.
it's definitely out there. I remember seeing it. Yeah.
That's another PK League moment.
Yeah.
Right there.
Next up, a man that's wild on the sidelines and gave you your debut, John Cosmina.
Best attribute.
Best attribute.
Best attribute. Again, on a personal level, I'll probably just have to say playing young players. I think he might have maybe gave Matty his debut too. That year, we all sort of came through at the back end of that season. Cosy gave a lot of that youth team debuts, whether it was deserved or not. I'll take it. But yeah, probably playing young players. I know that's probably not an attribute he's known for overly, but on a personal level, he gave me my chance. So yeah, giving the young boys a crack.
Quirk?
Quirk.
Other than being just great theatre.
Character,
Like just
yeah.
a character on the sideline.
I don't know. I probably only had him for about 3 or 4 months at the back end of that season. I was very young and sort of tried to avoid talking to
Was
the
he
coach.
scary?
I was scared. Not really, to be honest. Like it was, you respected him. Like definitely, he had a bit of presence about him. But I wouldn't say I was scared.
Intimidated.
Yeah, intimidated by him. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was good. I like coaches like that where
Yeah.
you're more approachable and stuff. You know, I
For
think
sure.
that
Get the
works
best
well.
out of you.
Current gaffer, Ufuk Talay. Now, we've had him on the show. He
Yeah.
understands this show and what it's about, so you can really, you can tell us anything, okay? He's greenlit this segment.
Yeah, okay.
Ufuk Talay, best attribute.
Oh, I think from day one with Uffy, just seeing his, I suppose, tactical awareness in terms of we'd change little things within our setup week to week depending on the opponent. And in the past, I've sort of had coaches that sort of play away. The way they want to play, their style of play doesn't change whoever
Very
we play.
stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Uffy would notice something, say if we're playing Adelaide, what they do or where we can change it a little bit. Or I think last year against Wellington, it might have been the year before, sorry, we played with no 9. We sort of had 2 false 9s or 10s. And it just worked really well. We ended up spanking them. Just little things like that.
Yep.
I always have a clear memory, just changing it, and I can really appreciate a coach that can sort of see that and be happy to adjust week to week rather than being hell-bent on we play this way. Obviously, you have your philosophy and you stick to that, but just the little tweaks, I think, is something that Uffy's really, really good at.
What's something quirky about Mr. Talay?
Oh. I'm not sure, eh? A bit quirky.
He's a good, cool guy. He had his Berks on. He was a-
Joe Lolly said that he likes telling the same stories over and over.
Oh, yeah. He'll tell you a yarn that you've heard once or twice.
Yeah, he
said,
doesn't
yeah,
mind
yeah,
just
yeah.
recycling the same,
Yeah, the
like maybe
same
a playing career
football.
story,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
played for Galatasaray.
Back in
something.
my day, mate. Yeah. It's definitely something about Galatasaray. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
he
Feeding.
helped him out.
Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah, nice.
He's my gaffer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't stitch him up here. All right. You're one of the GOATs in the A-League. Who's your A-League GOAT?
Question.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Does it have to be someone that's played in the A-League the whole time? But
No, it can be like they maybe played a couple seasons.
yeah, I'm gonna have to say I can't really go past Broski, and like I said before, I loved Broski even before I knew him and played with him. I just loved the way he played, and then seeing him as a player and as a captain, like his leadership was unbelievable. He didn't really have to say much or sort of do much, but he just had such an aura, as the kids say these days, about him. And he just, and now obviously as a friend, like getting to be a friend of his was awesome. But yeah, I think either Broski or Wilkes is right up there too. He's done it all for a number of clubs. So Wilkes is, and that obviously also another good friend and a really good captain and someone that I've sort of learnt off and bounce off quite often. He's still at the club, obviously, so get to see him daily and sort of, pick it, sort of, I suppose, ask him different questions and see where I sort of land. But probably those two. It's very, very Sydney FC biased.
Okay,
But
if
of course I'm
it's
going
you
to
had
fine.
to pick
yeah.
someone who didn't play for Sydney FC. Oh, you kind of touched on it a little bit in the Big Blue game that we played at the start. but
Yeah,
maybe
like-
it's this.
like an Archie or someone.
Yeah.
An Archie,
nice.
he's
Broish.
Broish.
Yeah.
There's been some great ones.
Even like a Castro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magician.
Yeah.
Sort of just talking about good players, I suppose, rather than
GOATs.
We're just
But they'd
rattling
be
off
up
the
there.
it depends how you sort of rank it, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
The criteria that you sort of need
Yeah,
to meet.
this
I
is your
suppose.
criteria.
Longevity for me. So, I suppose Broxham too. I should
Yep.
probably
Yeah.
say. Yeah, he's sort of known in and around the A League as Mr. A League. So, there's a few bouncing about.
You're on death row. You can request your final meal. Anything you want. What is it?
Oh, that's an easy one. I've been asked this in the past. I think it's my mum's rissoles.
Oh.
Yeah, mum's
Great
rissoles
answer.
and my Auntie Sue's, who I'll give a shout out. Auntie Sue's makes a great pav. That's my favourite dessert too. So mum's rissoles and Auntie Sue's is pavlova.
I'm glad it was better than Joe Lolly's.
Yeah, Joe Lolly had a terrible one.
was
You sound all
Mushy
English
peas.
Food, like mushy peas. Sounded
mushy
like,
peas.
Mushy
Fair
peas.
dinkum.
Sounded like vomit.
Mushy peas.
He needs that Bondi effect.
Stereotype.
I think.
Yeah,
He needs
it
couple more
hasn't
years.
helped him yet.
Yeah, but I like that. You stayed close to you've been living in Sydney
Aussie's
for a very long
roots.
time, but you stayed close to your roots. Now this game, we're bringing it back. It's called Ghostbusters
Okay.
because we're going to rattle off some questions and then we're going to say
Who you gonna call?
Okay.
We planned that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're on a night out. Who you calling? And I know you've had lots of these with Sydney FC boys.
Yeah.
Who's the best one?
To have a night out with?
Yeah.
Yeah, partner in crime.
I can't go past. Or Seb Ryle, probably.
Yeah?
Seba, yeah.
Yeah.
Seb is a great time.
Yeah. Okay. You're tackling a buffet. You need to finish this buffet. You and one person.
Oh. Who's a big
Whoever this is can put away some food.
I actually don't know who's a big eater, eh?
It's okay because you've lived with a lot of players.
Yeah.
As well. You've seen their
You live
eating
with
habits up close.
Haji.
Oh, he's pony.
Calva.
Yeah, Calva can eat.
I'm
yeah,
sure he
I'd
can,
say,
yeah.
yeah, Darren the dog, big
Is that
Calva.
what you call him?
Yeah, Darren. Yeah, he can eat, and he's trimmed up a lot in his
Korean
later-
days?
Yeah, his Korean days. But now, yeah, at a time there, he's a little pudgy Darren the dog.
Speaking of nicknames, how'd you get Buster?
Buster was sort of originated when I think it was only like one or two. My dad was a volunteer fireman, and whenever he'd have to shoot off, I'd try and chase him, and I'd run into into the door or into the bookcase, and I'd split my head open, or busted my head open like 2 or 3 times. I think it was 1 or 2, and then I used to just say, "You busted yourself up again," and then sort of stuck, and then for some reason, wherever I've moved a lot. Someone always knew me previously, and yeah, Buster sort of hung around. So yeah, what am I, 34 now? So yeah, 32
Wow, that's
years.
crazy.
Very
So
cool.
it was given to you so young and it's carried with you like
Yeah.
to football, and I thought like a football a
Yeah,
teammate would give it to you or
Yeah,
something.
no,
That's pretty
yeah, yeah. That's actually it's a very crazy thing that sort of stuck with me so long. But
Yeah.
yeah, everyone sort of has their own take on it too. I sort of get Buster, Bussy, Bust, Bust, a lot of different variations.
Accents.
Yeah.
Tackle that
yeah,
one
yeah.
differently.
Yeah. So that I'd sort of answer to all of them.
You're in a jam. You need to ring a teammate and they need to answer on the first go to save you. Who you ringing? Who's Mr. Reliable?
Oh, Mr. Joel King.
Yeah?
Yeah, you could go to Kingy for anything. He's one of
He's
the,
just that person that
one
you
of the
can-
best men. Yeah, you could meet, and obviously his sidekick Geordie. Those two, the bit of the hub, the vibe of the team with Woody too, I suppose. But yeah, those two they live together, and I think if I needed anything, one of those two would always answer the phone.
Now you've had a few of these. Who's the best to go on a postseason trip?
The best player.
Yeah, to go with. Anyone could be past.
I'm gonna say Broski, just because he organised when we went to Vegas, and it was seamless. We didn't have to line up for anything. We were at all the right parties, the right places, the right time. So I think Broski, he's been to Vegas a number of times, so he knows it inside and out. Not that I probably really want to go back. I've had my
now.
time, but yeah, he's pretty good at organising something. So I'd probably say Brosk.
Wasn't there?
that leads seamlessly now into this. I was going to ask, what's the best Sydney FC postseason trip? Was it Vegas?
Yeah, it'd have
Yeah.
to be. It was just a lot of factors though. I think that season we'd broken all the records. We'd had such a great year. We had a really good group. We got a high number. Some years you don't have as many players that come on the end of seasons trips, but that year we had I think maybe 10 or 8 to 10 boys, so a good number. And obviously Vegas, we had a good kitty. So there's a lot of factors that made it good.
Good healthy kitty always helps.
Yeah, and I think talking about how good Broski is, I think he might have even chipped in a little bit himself just
Aw.
to save the rest of us.
It's a veteran.
Poor bastards paying, yeah.
Wasn't
He's a
there
legend.
one where something happened and it was just like 2 of you or something with the
Yeah,
kid?
yeah, that was with Gemmo, Scott Jemison. We had maybe 5 or 6 boys ready to go to either Thailand or Bali, I think. And then in the last few days, they all pulled out and it was just me and Gemmo. So we were like, oh, stuff it, we've got another good kitty, let's go to America. So we ended up going to LA and New York for a week.
That's
so they all
mad.
pulled out.
They all
but then
pulled
you
out.
Kept the kid, like,
yeah,
of course, you keep the kid.
that's the
Fantastic.
rule.
Oh,
That's the
that'd be
rules.
great.
Yeah, if you're not going to go in the end of the season, you don't get your money back. It's all
No,
kitty.
definitely not.
So yeah, I think we paid for flights and maybe a lot of the accommodation, and then obviously you have to pay a little bit out of your own pocket, which is fine. But that was a funny one too. Yeah, just me and Gemmo.
Does Sydney FC like the fine system? Does Sydney FC, of course, there's nothing for you to compare it to, but is there any quirky fining things that Sydney FC fine people for, like that you might not see at another club? Like, is there something particular, like, I don't know, for example, like...
Bad shoes or something.
Yeah, bad shoes.
Oh, yeah, we have if you wear this, because a lot of, like you mentioned my shoes before, a lot of the boys have the same shoes. So if you wear the same clothing, like brand, or like if we had the same shirt on, that's $20.
Uniqlo, everyone would be able to say.
So there's a lot of Uniqlo boys with the
That's just
piece,
a 2020
Yeah, if you've got the same, We
Wow.
also have, if you need to do a wee when you're on the pitch, it's $5. Just little things, but there's a
Over
lot.
a season, 27 rounds, that adds up.
Yeah, it adds up. There's a lot of boys that aren't real happy about it at the moment. There's a couple of new boys getting used to it, but now we've got a really healthy kitty at the moment. We're looking good.
That's good. That's good. Hopefully celebrating after a
big blue win.
Yeah.
big blue win and a championship as well at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
More fan questions. This one is from Brata Dove 2027. Will you ever grow the mullet back?
I don't think so.
Mullet's retired?
Yeah, as much as I'd love to have it, I don't think I've got the hair for it. Unless I take a trip to Turkey, I don't think I've...
Man, we're going.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I know a lot of people
You
have
got
done
hair
it.
at the back. It looks...
Yeah, the back is, but I ended up having none on top, some at the back, skullet they call it, I think. So, I think I've committed. I've made the jump now. I've made the leap. I'm gonna just
It suits you.
keep it.
Yeah,
keep
rock
it
it.
short.
It suits you.
Yeah.
You've got a small head, which always
Yeah,
helps.
does help.
I got
He's
a
trying to
massive
say it's a
head.
big head.
I don't know.
No, good. Hey, was there ever a hairdo that... Great question, by the way, Brata Dove. But was there ever a hairdo that you wish you did?
There's a lot I wish I didn't do.
Oh, you remind me of Bex. You know,
Yeah,
a
I've
few
had so many
You've
different
had a lot.
haircuts that are ordinary. But no, I don't know. I say that some of the boys now shave their heads and they've got good hairlines, and I see it as such a flex. I'm like, you could have any
showing
haircut
off.
you have, and this is what you choose to do. I can't choose this. But I think having a good hairline and shaving my head, if I did that when I was a bit younger, I think that'd be a bit of
Like
a,
a back
bit
in the
of a
day, like
flex.
an R9?
Oh,
Little
yeah,
semicircle? That would be another peak A-League moment.
When I was real young, I used to have a fringe, shaved head and a fringe, because my mum used to cut my hair at home.
no.
So
Country
I wasn't
style.
too far off that
Oh,
R9,
no.
So
This one's
ordinary.
from Harrison Cole, Sammy.
It is, yeah. This one, so which young player that you've seen grow at Sydney has had the biggest impact on you?
Biggest impact on me? Ooh. I don't know. That's a funny
a good
question.
question.
Yeah.
ma-
You're one of the
maybe-
vets now. Like, is there anyone that you've gotten really
Or maybe
close
someone
to?
that when you came in together with that had an influence on your career, or
I feel like I just throw the same names out there all the time. Obviously, Seb Ryle, we came in at the same time. We were similar ages, a couple of years older than me, but he was, a best mate. We lived together for ages. We had a big influence on my life. But just trying to think now, I have a lot of friends that are a little bit... Football's a funny one. You have such a different range of ages. So sometimes you get really close with someone that's like 10 years younger than you. And you don't think of anything of it, and then you go home and you say, I was talking to Rara, and then your partner's like, isn't he like 21? And you're like, oh yeah, far out.
Keeps me young.
Yeah. So I've got a lot of, like even in this current squad, it's quite young. A lot of my closest friends are all more than 10 years younger than me. So it feels a bit weird saying that out loud now, but a lot of players sort of come through, and younger players have had a bit of an influence on me, and like you said, keep me young, keep me.
yeah, like how's that transition been like for you? Because you've gone from you just like the Brett Emerton example was a great one of you going from that young player. Now, like not only are you the vet, but you're Mr. Sydney FC.
Yeah, it sort of happens quite organically without you really realising it. I think maybe when I was mid-20s, the team it felt quite old. Not old, but quite experienced. Like we spoke about Broski, Wilco, like Bobo, Alfie, all those players played till later into their 30s even. So you sort of sneak up there, you get closer to them without realising you're sort of becoming one of those players or one of those older players, and then suddenly they're not around, and then you're the oldest player in the group, and look it.
Oh.
No, you don't.
Be nice to
You
yourself.
don't.
No, it sort of happens more organically, and then sort of, you might have a few young players come and ask you a few questions, you go, and then you realise, oh yeah, far out, I am that go-to guy now that people come for advice, or
Pretty
if
cool.
they need to get things done at Sydney, or even speak to admin staff or whatever it is come to you and stuff, and sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, I've made that transition. So I find a lot of pride in it, to be honest. I really enjoy being able to help, and because I'm, like I said, so comfortable here and know who to talk to and when to talk to, I feel like I can really help some of the younger players, and I like that they have the confidence and to be able to come to me and ask me. Like I said, when I was younger, some of the older boys were a bit scary, so I'd avoid at all costs. But yeah, I sort of want to be that more open guy that they can come and ask anything, and they seem to do it. So I'm really enjoying it, actually.
That's awesome.
That's very, very cool. Last one. This is from Tess Jones. What's your favourite moment at Sydney FC?
That's a tough one to, after 18 years. Favourite moment. This is, I don't know. I really don't know. I
could just say your debut. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously,
grand
the grand
finals.
finals. It's hard to split, obviously, when I was lucky enough to score the equaliser or the winner in 2021 against City. I don't know. They're the easy ones to go to, right? But then you sort of, there's so many other ones you could easily say. I'm not really sure. One that really comes to mind, which is random. I didn't play in the game because I think I was injured, but and I keep going back to Seba, which is weird, but he scored, he made a really nice dribble and then sort of cut in and hit one with the outside of his right foot and sort of went and celebrated in front. It was actually in the Big Blue, funny, should say that, and down there, and went and celebrated in front of their fans and was sort of like, what are you saying now sort of thing. And I just remember jumping off the lounge and celebrating like a proper fan. So it's just little things like that. You could, I suppose, speak about all the personal memories I have and the accolades and stuff. But yeah, little things like that sort of stick with you. So I think that one, is an awesome one to sort of look back and think, like, because he was such a good friend, that's an awesome one to sort of, speak about, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a good one. And on the topic of Big Blue, it's coming up this weekend. I think one of the highlights, something I'm sure you'd agree, of the A-League this season has been Sydney FC's home games at Leichhardt Oval. That hill packed. You're a rugby league fan, there's that rugby league connection as well. But I think as a ground to watch football, it's one of the best. What's it been like to play at?
Yeah, the same. We really enjoy it there. Firstly, but just because the field, the pitch itself is really, really good. I suppose if you look around the league, there's a lot of fields that aren't crash hot. So to be able to play it on on a nice surface makes a big difference. So firstly that, but then I think, I'm not sure exactly what it holds. It might be 16 to 18,000 or something like that. But even I think we had 10 or 10,000 or something. So and it felt packed, and you can sort of.
It sounds louder as well.
Yeah, it's just looking up on that hill and you just see everyone standing or sitting. It's so chockers in there. It looks great and creates such a good atmosphere. So on a personal level, I really like playing there. I think it's nostalgic too, like you said. There's a bit of a throwback going there. Obviously, we love Allianz, but I'm really enjoying playing at Leichhardt and being pretty good there this year, so hopefully it continues. Yeah.
And if you had a message to the fans ahead of this massive clash, what would it be?
Obviously, come out. I'm expecting it to be a sellout. I think we've already sold a really good amount of tickets. I know there is a little bit of feedback that it's hard to get to, it's hard to park, but our fans, they might whinge about it or say something about it, but they still show up. So we're very, very thankful. So whether you do have to find a way to get public transport there or park or whatever it is, we do appreciate the effort. We know it's sort of, those suburban grounds can be tough, but come out in numbers and make that big difference for us. So please come.
Oh, it's going to be absolute scenes. It's because, as you said, it's been packed for every home game, but that Big Blue, some Melbourne fans will turn up too. It'll be really awesome. This is something that we've been doing. Just show people, maybe they haven't seen the last couple of episodes, where every guest that comes on is going to sign, can you see this jersey?
Very cool.
The gaffer signed it.
Yeah, nice.
Joe
Joe
signed
Lolly.
it. Yeah. Ryan, it's time to show off your
Sydney FC
signature.
GOAT.
Beautiful.
Here we go. The GOAT of Sydney FC is going to sign it as well. We're going to give it away at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's going to look beautiful. It's going to have every signature on there. And keep an eye out on our socials as well, because we gave away something
did.
And we announced the winner as well.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Very exciting.
Third kit as well.
And this has been another great episode.
Yes. You got a really nice signature. You know what I like, Sammy? Sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
But he's managed to just get the number in there as well.
Okay.
Look at that, little 23, just seamless. My signature's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. That is
Mine's
beautiful.
a bit of scribble.
That looks lovely.
But thank you for joining us,
Thank you
Ryan,
so much.
especially because I know you probably had no sleep as well with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bubba.
I know, yeah.
Nah.
It's been awesome. And thank you guys. Make sure you get your comments in. Each week we're getting
Yep,
more and
ask
more.
your questions because
Yep.
as you've seen, we answered 4 this week. We try and answer
Yep.
every single week. We haven't decided who we're going to get next week, but I'll tell you what, we've had a great opening 3. The GOAT of Sydney FC, big blue this weekend as well, so good luck.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
good
Thanks for
luck.
having me.
No,
Good
thank
fun.
you.
Guys, and thank you so much for watching.
Stay
We'll see you
tuned.
next time.